very best day of the week here at the Cosmic Equestrian Center because it is jump schooling day, which is my personal favorite thing to do with the ponies. So today we're going to be riding Monty, my 4-star eventer, Buggy, my trustworthy all-arounder, Belle, my spicy Welsh hunter pony who kicks butt in the jumping arena, and then Copper, my still very much so wild at heart, primarily Western Mustang who hasn't jumped in months because he disliked it so much the first time we had to change disciplines. Seems like a bright idea, folks, but it's been a while, so I wanted to try our luck again with some very baby jumps today. And who knows, if I'm feeling adventurous, I might even take out Ghost and Foxtail from my lesson program, but we'll see how I'm feeling. Enough yapping, let's jump some ponies. So I'm taking all the horses down to a nearby arena that's just a short hack down the road from the CEC because we're doing some maintenance on our outdoor and indoor arena, and honestly, it's just good to get them out to new places so they can be confident whenever we're riding out. Today, I took Monty out first because he is my most reliable guy, and then we will work our way down to, I guess, the hardest horses, which is going to be, of course, Copper because he has not jumped in a very long time. So today I have set up a nice little course for us, starting off with this double vertical, then we're going to roll back right to this little cross rail, taking on the single, and then another tricky line to a couple of oxers, and then this is going to be a bit of a tight turn, but we're going to do this yellow combination of a vertical and an oxer and finish it off with this vertical here. And because it's a bit more challenging, we're only going to do this course with Buggy and Monty. On our way down to this arena hire, Monty had a pep in his step, so I was expecting a bit of a forward ride, and when I was warming him up, he was definitely very looky, very forward going, but after a little bit of warming up, getting his attention, doing some lateral movement, leg yield, stuff like that, he definitely started to get back into the zone. Such a do-gooder this horse is. I mean, I could throw absolutely anyone on this horse and feel confident that he's going to keep them safe. Anyways, we then started the course. I mean, he had his absolute game face on, as you can see. Such lovely jumps. I mean, a beautiful combination. He was like, this is just too easy. He's just such a pro. And then we took on this cross rail, which absolutely overjumped that, but gotta love him. He tries hard. And then we knocked a rail here. I was kind of holding him back too much because he was really going for it, so we did have a bit of a chip in, which cost us a rail, but that's okay. Not to worry because we bounced back with these oxers. I mean, look at that jump. He is just such a gorgeous guy. And then we did a bit of a tricky line, as you can see here. We really had to collect it back up, and then he did that in about 2 strides, which was incredible. What a powerhouse. And then we had quite a distance to travel to this last jump, collected him up a bit, and he jumped it like a gorgeous, gorgeous boy. I was very tempted to just end the ride off there, end it off on a really good note because, you know, he had jumped the course beautifully, but that rail was kind of bugging me, so I let him catch his breath, and then we started on just a bit of a shorter version of the course. I just let him go for it this time, trusted him, and we got in the perfect amount of strides, and he jumped it like such a cutie, so I was super, super pleased with how that ended off. Well guys, Monty was forward and focused today. He is in show season after all, so he knows he's not supposed to be goofing around. Even over those little cross rails and smaller jumps, he just puts 110% effort in. Now it is about time to get the Buggy boy out, and we're gonna give him a little test ride around the course, see how he's feeling today. I don't know, who's gonna jump it better, Monty? What do you think? Anyone else feel like if Monty could talk, he'd definitely have a British accent? Random thought there, but anyway. I got Buggy, grabbed him from the field, tacked him up, and during our warm-up, I was noticing he was very lazy, a little bit dual. He was really making me work for any sort of forward movement I could get out of him. So I started to do some trot canter transitions just to get him a bit more forward thinking. But once he started really noticing the jumps and realizing what we were gonna do, he got a lot more excited. And after that, we were ready to take on the course. Buggy started out with a boost here. He got a little excited, and we managed to put in 4 strides here, which he did lovely, super floaty big strides, and then tried to collect him up so he could come up to the center of this cross rail, which he did really nicely. And this is when he started to take over. He was getting really chargy on me, and we did knock a rail. And what are the odds? The same exact rail that Monty and I knocked. I think it's more so to do with me than the horses at this point. Having more than one horse is a very humbling but good experience, because if you're struggling with the same thing on more than one horse, then it's probably gonna come straight back to you. But other than that, he had a very lovely jump on him, except after this jump he got a little cheeky cheeky, and he gave me a little playful buck. He never does it out of naughtiness though, it's always just him being playful. I guess it was too hot to trot, but not hot enough to the point where you can't zoom off bucking after a jump. What a little goober, so I decided we need to do that again. Just gave him a little check-in with the reins, like, hey, still here, and he jumped it great. And then we went over the oxers. Again, no problem with these, and they're quite big actually, so I was expecting a bit more challenge over them. My guess as to why he got a bit bucky is because it's a tight turn and he made it over really nicely, so he was just celebrating like, hey, made it over. This time he was a lot more calm, cool, and collected after, so I gave him some big pats because he was such a good boy, and we ended off our ride there. Wow, I'm a little shocked that both of my horses managed to knock that rail on the purple vertical. On a positive, now I know it's my problem and not the horses. Anyways, super proud of Buggy today. He was feeling a little lazy at first, but once he got his engine starting, he was off to the races. I tell you what, this horse is such a goofball, but I absolutely adore him, and now I think it's time to put him away and get the spicy bell pepper. Typically, Belle only does hunters because at her previous home, that's literally all they did with her, but lately we've been going to show jumping competitions and she knows how to make her way around a show jumping course. Like, this girl means business. And she must have known we were going through a jumper course today, or something's in the air, because she kicked it up to third gear, like trot to gallop, I swear. When she gets going, and there's not a lot of talking her down from that. So the jumps were lowered on this particular course. Honestly, I think she could jump the size that Monty and Buggy are at, but I want to save her pony legs. For this course, we're going to start off with the yellow combination, and then we're going to take a very nice tight turn to the red vertical, over the cross rail, another really tight rollback to the blue oxer, and then over the other red vertical, taking on this next single, and a really tight turn over the other oxer, and then we're going to swoop around to the purple fence. As you guys can probably tell, this course is no joke. It's a bit tighter with a lot more complexity because, you know, she's not great with long distances with those pony strides. She really struggles to keep up, but she makes up for it with excelling at tight turns and making up for her time that way. It did feel pretty weird going from those long floaty horse strides to this bouncy little 13 3-hand lady, but she just makes it such a blast and absolutely tears up any course. Today she was feeling a little sassy and a little strong, kind of taking over on me, but she still gets me over. Not very pretty, good thing it's not hunters, but she did her job, kept me safe, not foreshadowing to anything, and was just a great pony. Okay, I will admit that was a little rough around the edges, but she was flying through that really tricky course. I mean, that was a lot to ask of her, but she did a super job of taking on all those challenges and answering some pretty tough questions. So thank you, Belle, for being such a good girl today. Time to get the one I've been dreading. I'm kidding, I'm not really dreading him, I'm just, you know, it's been a while since we've jumped and I don't know how this is gonna go, so shall we? Now, originally I had planned to cool her down, put her away, and get Copper, but of course, things never go to plan with horses. And when I was cooling her out, I immediately noticed she was off in her right front. As you can see here, she was just bobbing her head so bad and really was taking a bunch of missteps. So when a horse is lame, what do? Hey, again. I was just doing a jump course with Belle. When I hopped off her, looks like she's lame in that right front, so I was wondering if there's a time you could pop by and check her out.
Can't get enough of me, I guess. Well, you know, I'm in the area tomorrow, so I can stop by and check her out for you. How's that sound?
You are a lifesaver, thank you. Well, this is not the way I expected this video to go. It just feels so out of the blue, like I didn't notice her take any missteps or stumble at all. She may have landed funny. Other than that, I don't really know what could have gone on. I'm hoping something didn't get brought to the surface. She is coming 18 this year, so I'm hoping it's not arthritis or navicular or something like that, but horses always manage to keep me on my toes, I tell you what. After that whole fiasco, Belle's just gonna be in her stall for a while. She's gonna be on stall rest till the vet comes, and then it was time to clear my head and get Mr. Copper out because I would surely need a clear head for this little guy. He's not a fan of jumping. In fact, he strongly disliked it when I brought him home from the auction. He was absolutely not a jumping horse. He was not going to be my next eventer. And we had to divert because he was not having fun. We're going to take him back into the show jumping ring and see how he likes it because he's come a long way since then. I've also lowered the rails a notch for him because this is going to be less of a jump round, more of a chilled training. But assuming all goes well, I am going to take him through a little course here. So we're starting off with these two combinations, and I really planned this out keeping in mind that he has not done a lot of jumping, and when he has, it hasn't been a good experience. So I just want this to be a really good confidence builder, which is why I've made sure there's a lot of distance between every single jump. That way he can really gather himself up between every fence. He was feeling really bold in warm-up, so I let him have a little look at the fences, make sure he knows that there's nothing to spook at here. Once he knew that they were a-okay, it was time to take him through a little cross rail. So first time through, absolutely dodged the jump. Second time through, he is Grand Prix ready, guys, look at that center. And third time through came from the other direction, and he was really lovely and jumped it with a lot of confidence. I took him over some other singles, and then I felt like he was ready, so I started taking him through the course. And at first he was a little behind me, so I had to really give him a lot of leg, encourage him forward, and then he got a little confidence here, so especially over this little combination. As you can see, I think he was very proud of himself here. He was super forward, his ears were forward, he was a happy guy, and I was just beaming at this point because he was finally liking jumping, at least I thought. I mean, he was still slow and steady because he wanted to be very cautious, but you know, he's just making sure that we were both safe. At least I thought. Can you tell I'm foreshadowing, guys? We'll get to that later, but I took him through. This was a very long distance to this next cross rail, and he was such a good boy. We did break down just because he was a little hesitant, and then this guy was just a small one. He was like easy peasy. Again, we broke down, but I really didn't care about that. I was just so happy there were no refusals, nothing like that. I mean, it was a brilliant reminder of how far we'd come together since I rescued him. And this is when I made my mistake. I should have ended it off on a good note, you know, not gotten too greedy, but I got greedy, guys. I was thinking, oh my goodness, he is doing so good, and I decided it would be a great idea to raise the rails. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Good going, Copper. Good boy. Get up there. Come. Good boy. Hey, hoo. Hey, steady. Ow. Oh, okay. Don't go too far. Okay, get up. Get them okay. Copper, you little stink. Get back here. What am I gonna do with you? You little stinker. I can't believe that.
So yeah, we fell, but don't worry, guys. I got it on another camera so you can enjoy two angles. Well, I thought Belle's lameness would be my excitement for the day, but nope. Basically what happened there was that when I raised the rails, which I shouldn't have done, that first red vertical he knocked, which spooked him, sent him flying and bucking like crazy to the next jump, which he made over, to be fair. However, I did not. Got a little too confident there. That's okay. To gain some of his confidence back, I am gonna lunge him over those two jumps though. Alright, take two, buddy. I took him around again at a lunge, and he way overjumped it. He was like, I'm not touching those scary poles again. They make very loud noises. But we did leave off on a good note, so I just left it there. Attaboy! I'd say that's about enough adventure for a span of an hour. Despite the rough patches though, I'm super proud of this horse for even attempting those jumps today, which is something he wouldn't even consider doing just months ago. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Subscribe to be a part of our barn family, and I will see you all next time. Now, I believe I have a massage to schedule. Bye! Fell in love in Minnesota, fell apart south of Salt.